we go. Okay. Hello, and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I'm your comediologist, comedian/meteorologist, Cloud Hudson, and I'll be bringing you all of tonight's top vibe stories, tonight's top weather stories, with a little bit of levity added in. Hopefully, I don't know. I just don't take as serious as a tone as your local meteorologist on the news, and I'm a little bit more fact-based than your average stand-up comedian. And by fact-based, I mean things that appeal to the modern sensibilities of the scientific method. Okay. I am just getting situated here. Oh, welcome, viewers. Hello. I am so happy to see everybody here. Let's see. Let me go ahead and get started with today's update. Add the camera in and my virtual camera. Go ahead and get started with our volcano update for tonight. Show this on stream and put this one in the spotlight. There we go. Okay. You would think that I have some sort of foot fetish the way that Temu is always advertising sandals to me. I swear I've never bought sandals, rings, or dresses online. I think they're just looking at the colors. They're just looking at the ratios of colors of images that I like. And these are very natural colors. I look at maps a lot. And they're like, we don't sell maps. Okay. So, Mount Ibu, due to the heightened activity level over the past months, the PVMBG, I don't know what that stands for, full disclosure, raised the volcano's alert level from level 2 to level 3 alert on the 8th of May. The volcano's explosions produce above average sizes, and eruption column heights range from between 1,500 to 2,000 meters. Turn that volume down. Generating copious gray ash emissions. In addition, strong incandescence, mainly visible at night, accompanies the explosions, indicating a rise of fresh magma within the volcano's feeder pipe. And here is a beautiful image of last night's injection of volcanic ash from Mount Ibu into the upper atmosphere. I'm not exactly sure which I guess that came to flight level 530, 5,300 meters high. That is about 5.3 kilometers high. I don't know why I said about. That is 5.3 kilometers high. So that would be near the tropopause. Perhaps we might be getting some stratospheric injection from this. You can even see, you can see the little glowing dot right here where my mouse is. You can see this little teeny tiny dot of red. That is the glow from the mountain, glow from the caldera. And here's the satellite image of Mount Ibu erupting. You can see its ash plume definitely causing some cloud formation there. Lewatobi on Flores Island, also down there in the Indonesia. The explosive activity continues all the way up to 6,000 feet. Wait, I wrote that wrong. On the last one where it said 5,300 meters, that's only to flight level 53, not flight level 530. So that is actually a lot lower than I just said. But still, they're injecting ash into flight levels, so it's pretty high. Ducono continues to explode as, let's see, Santiaguito, earlier volcanic ash dissipated, or disrupted. I don't remember which. It means it stopped. Fuego continues to explode, as does Nevado del Ruiz, and so does Reventador, and Sabancaya is now down at intermittent emissions down there in Peru. Don't have too much other news, so I'm gonna skip there. Let's go now to check on our earthquakes. So here's the Earth chilling, as you do. Ooh, interesting. We've got a aftershock in northern New Jersey again. Quite interesting, as I thought that the aftershocks from their recent eruption, their recent earthquake had stopped, but I guess we're feeling some residual effects, some down the line knock-on effects of that action. Here in Oklahoma, both central and northern Oklahoma, we are seeing some eruptions of rocks moving, some earthquakes. 2.9 at 10 kilometers depth, 1.5 at 3, and 2.3 at 5 kilometers depth. We are also looking at our western Texas stack of earthquakes still having a strong showing. I'm gonna have to take the ring sizes down to look at California. As always, it looks like we've got all up and down the California coast, as well as a few in the northern Sierra Nevada mountains, and about 4 earthquakes in Nevada itself. These are looking relatively shallow across the board. Let's see. We've also got some here on the Washington and Canada border. These are what depths are these at? 16 kilometers, 40 and 20 kilometers. So not the average 10-kilometer depth that we see for shallow quakes, but not too many out of Alaska today. Well, not too many considering what they usually get. 2.6 is the biggest one that we've gotten out of Glacier View, Alaska. We have a 4.9 here again near Adak, Alaska. That is near the inflection point of the Aleutian Island chain, and that was at 62 kilometers depth. I wonder if that means that we're going to get a little bit more energy headed towards Hawaii again. We also had a 5.0 at a surface 5.0 near the H-shaped plate boundary in northern Japan, and a stack of a few good earthquakes here in Hawaii. Probably, let's take this down so I can see where we landed. Yeah, mostly on the southern side of the Big Island, kind of centered around Kilauea, which makes a lot of sense. Hawaii we'll get back to in our atmospheric weather update, because they are looking at snow conditions soon. So it'll be really cool if you are in Hawaii right now and get to see some snow on top of the Big Island. We have more quakes in Taiwan, just off the coast of Hualien City. 5.6, 5.2, 4.6, 4.2. What's up? Oh, 4.8. Sorry. These are between 0 kilometers depth and 29 kilometers depth. We had a 5.0 right in the heart of the Philippines at 0 kilometers depth, and another 5.0 at 0 kilometers depth just off the shore of Java. We've got a 4.3 in the Banda Sea at 150 kilometers depth. That's a little bit deeper than this little string of 5.0s. And we have continued earthquakes in northern Australia. Again, very weird. Well, not weird. There are reasons that this is happening there. I'm not going to get into them on this stream, but you can do your own research about what's happening in Australia that is causing earthquakes. But it is a continent of itself that has its own tectonic fracture zones and other fractures in the bedrock that are causing an attenuation of tectonic energy into shifts. Let's see. Now we go to our, is this correct? This can't be right. Yeah, no, that's right. Let's go back to 1 day of quakes. Thank you very much. A swarm of quakes all over New Zealand today. Look at all of that. They definitely are learning their lesson from the big quake they had there a few years ago, and have learned how to break up their quakes into many small ones, the way that California and Alaska do. I am definitely personifying the tectonic plates right now, and definitely not talking about people doing anything different land management wise. Then as we move up the Andaman Islands, no, that's not the Andaman Islands. That's the Vanuatu Islands. The Kermadec Islands. Gosh, I always forget the fake colonial names for all these island chains. Kermadec Islands, seeing some earthquakes centered around this 5.4 at 43 kilometers depth. We're moving up the chain. We get a 5.7 at 0 kilometers depth. And then as we get into the Fiji and Tonga Islands region, we get some deep, deep quakes. So 4.5 at 300 kilometers depth. Shallow 5, actually. This 4.5 was up here. That was the one at 300. And a 5.2 at 27 kilometers depth. Now, as we move into, make sure I'm not missing any in the south. No. Okay. As we move up into Pakistan, well, is this, who's Tajikistan? Tajikistan and Afghanistan. Tajikistan and Afghanistan border region. Again, that's a very popular place for this 200 kilometer depth earthquake. Looks like that is definitely a place that likes to get these deep earthquakes, as well as the wave-shaped plate boundary area. Now, as we move into the Middle East, there is Middle East or Western Asia, I guess is the politically correct term. As we get into the Red Sea, we've got 4.8 at 10 kilometers depth right in the middle of it, off the coast of Eritrea. 4.4 in Iran, Western Iran, at 10 kilometers depth, and a 5.1 at 61 kilometers depth up here in very far northern Iran. That is 3 areas that usually will isolatedly get quakes. So it's really interesting to see them all kind of boom, 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 just in a stack like that, propagate themselves. And of course, we've got our Greece cluster of earthquakes. We've got 3.0 at 16 kilometers depth being our largest one. They're kind of centered around Crete, but definitely spread into the Mediterranean more than we've seen them recently. All in all, though, okay, yes, we've got South Sandwich Islands region, 5.6 at 0 kilometers, 5.3 at 0 kilometers, and 5.3 at. Very interesting, large, very shallow, very large quakes here in the South Sandwich Islands region. That's the little string of islands, this like D-shaped. There really should be a plate boundary drawn along this undersea ridge to make a little oval here. But this is an area where we see a lot of quakes. And it just showed me some South American quakes, but they're not wanting to pop up right now. We have a 4.7 here in Nicaragua at 154 kilometers depth. That is on the opposite side of the planet from, let me turn on. Opposite side of the planet from the middle of the Indian Ocean. So not really anything to note there. And then we've got some decently strong quakes moving through southern Mexico along the Guerrero coast. We got 4.2 at 93 kilometers depth and a 4.2 at 45 kilometers depth. And then a series of threes around the region as well. And of course, not to be outdone by Mexico or Central America, Puerto Rico has got its own quakes going off at mid-range depths, everywhere from 8 kilometers to like 93 kilometers. We are seeing 2.4 very shallowly, 3.8 in the middle, and a 4.4 deeper, or 3.4, I'm sorry, at the deepest point. So that is our little earthquake update. Now let's check on our atmosphere. I would like to start off by doing our quick look at our radar. We are looking at finally some rain in New Mexico. Oh my gosh. It seems like everything has spawned. Every storm has spawned for the past month in Texas or east. But finally, at least a little teensy tiny bit of circulation and convection getting going just east of Albuquerque. They do seem to be severe thunderstorm warned. So that is a good indication that they'll at least get some rain. Unfortunately, the orientation of the storm axis, is pretty perpendicular to the direction the storm is moving in. So it's going like this instead of like this, which is what we would want to see in order to catch up on our lack of rainfall. But in either case, we are getting some decent DBZ values, some decent reflectivity. So perhaps they are going to get some rain that they have been desperately needing in the area. Hopefully the panhandle of Texas is also going to get some good soaking rains, but I doubt it. It'll probably just be a big risk of hail and thunderstorms, unfortunately. But it does look like the center of circulation is like we got some cyclonic rotation with this large Four Corners region area air mass. That is where we've got the bulk of our severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We've also got some special weather statements down here on the southern Texas and Louisiana border region, looking at 50 to 55 mile per hour winds. And that's a decent isolated thunder cell. It doesn't look very productive for tornadoes, but it does look like we are going to get a decent soaking rain throughout much of southern central Louisiana tonight. So that is what our little report looks like. We also saw a nice looking mid-latitude cyclone moving through the Great Lakes region, but not really producing a whole lot of rain, just this bowing line segment. Bowing as in it's a line that's curving like this. It's making the shape of like a bow and arrow. So that is probably what's producing this special marine warning here. As we get into Washington, they are probably dealing, as we're like going from the Potomac into, I guess, the Chesapeake Bay, Washington and Alexandria, we're looking at some pretty strong winds here. So be on the lookout if you are in the Washington, D.C. area for some strong winds. Now let's take it from there to looking at our global weather headlines, because as I said, there is a winter storm warning in Hawaii right now, which is really, it's not unheard of, but it is rare. Usually above 10,000 feet is where Hawaii will see some snow in the winter. This is kind of like how it snows in California, and that's part of their winter snowpack. This is a Hawaiian snow that isn't unheard of. It just seems very late in the season to me for snow. Flash flood warning, yes. Snow, weird. Uh, let's actually look at null Earth to see the dynamics of this. We're seeing some really, I feel like this is our global pattern from about 2 weeks ago when we had that really sharp lamination, like zebra stripe air masses. Lamination, I'm talking about not like laminated paper, but lamination as in the technique that you use when you are making croissants and you put like dough, butter in a bunch of layers in order to make it flaky. That's the kind of thing that we're seeing here with a lot of really squished together wave peaks that are very vertical in their slope. Like we're seeing big circulation right on top of one another. That's a really steep amplitude for a very low, like high frequency, steep amplitude, lots of severe weather, I think. So right now, Hawaii looks like it has got some warm weather going on, but I bet as we move forward in time, we are forecast to get some of this sweeping down air movement. Take a look at our misery index. We are looking miserable in Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia area. Also miserable in the Red Sea. Here in Afghanistan, though, we are looking at a different kind of misery. Same with southern Brazil, although it doesn't show on this misery index. Afghanistan and Brazil are the most recent additions to the list of countries undergoing severe flooding. Here is a picture of Afghanistan, a small village in Afghanistan in the Samangan province on May 11, 2024. You can see livestock and people gathered away from the floodwaters. This has been storms. This has been a flood that's killed over 200 people, unfortunately. And we are looking at a great loss of property. Video from Twitter. It's going to let me load it. Yeah. Really unfortunate. This is very, very destructive, very dangerous floodwaters here in Afghanistan. And it's really, it's very unfortunate that we're seeing such extreme weather in places like we're seeing snow in Hawaii and floods in Afghanistan. This is quite weird. I'm not going to talk about how weird it is. I'm just going to report on it. I'm just saying it's weird. It's not unheard of. It's just very weird and unfortunate to have such strong floods at this time of year for Afghanistan. Flash flooding. So the death toll is actually from when the flash flooding started in mid-April. Farmlands have also been swamped, which is really unfortunate because that is a huge part of the economy there. And that is not to mention the Brazilian floods. Let's actually take a look at, I found a new map. I found a new map today, trying to find the exact location of these floods in Afghanistan. And this is the area. This is the area in Afghanistan. The red is where we're seeing flood stages, and not just mild flood stages like the river's high, like seeing severe floods right there. And then we are also, I mean, as we move into Kazakhstan and southern Russia too, we're seeing a lot of flooding. These look like small dots, but these are giant land masses that are uh, just all flooding very badly. We also are seeing in southern Iraq, in Khuzestan. I didn't know that was a place. That we're also seeing other flooding here in the Arabian Peninsula area and northern Iran still. We also still have flooding in Kenya uh, and in Sudan, South Sudan. And as we move into southern Brazil, it's not showing up very well on this map, but there has also been some devastating flooding going on in Brazil as well. That is all in addition to the droughts that have been going on all over the world. And as you see, the residual flooding from the past few weeks of extreme weather in the United States is dotting the Mississippi with floodwaters. So let's move on to our let's go to our Schumann resonances today. How are y'all doing, by the way? Everybody who's here, drop your name in the chat, say hi. Hope everyone's doing well. Got windows open that I don't want open. Okay. Thank you very much to everyone who's viewing. I would love to hear from you, but if you want to stay quiet, that's okay too. Let's take a look at our sonogram for our Schumann resonances. And it looks like we had a few good spikes of power bursts today, but nothing like whiteout conditions. What we were missing in the days, I think 2 days ago, we had no Schumann resonance data. That was just a little spike. Let's see. These look like discrete power bursts, though. Yeah, discrete power burst around right before 20 UTC on the 11th. And, or actually 20 UTC plus 7, so about like 8 a.m. Eastern time, I think. And then we are looking now like 14 hours in the future. So not too much else to speak of other than that power burst. Our frequencies, though, are looking like they're vacillating around the same regions that they've been in, maybe increasing for mode 2. Mode 2 looks like it has increased a good deal, and mode 1 also, but mode 3 too. Yeah, it looks like actually we are increasing in frequency. So let's move now to our Northern Lights report. We did get some amazing aurora yesterday. That was a beautiful, beautiful display of aurora. All the way as far south as at least North Carolina. I think we got them as far south as parts of Texas. Let's see. Here are the northern lights here from Pinehurst, North Carolina. Really pretty ones with clouds in the foreground here in Smithfield, North Carolina. These look like they were on just kind of crappy cell phone cameras. So in Siler City and in Sanford, North Carolina, this is gorgeous. I want that as a computer background, and as well as this. Also very, very beautiful. People were seeing lots of pinks, reds, and greens all at the same time. Lake Lockmere. There we go. And there was also another one from the south in coastal Virginia. And these were just what you could see in the south. This is remarkable. Remarkable footage from people who don't usually get to see the Northern Lights. So That's super exciting. Let's go now to take a look at the solar storm that is causing all of this, which is, ooh, we got a new CME. Oh, we got 2 new CMEs. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is exciting. Oh, look at that beautiful picture of, let me open this. I read this article earlier today. This is an article describing the storm that we've just gone through. It cites that the last time we reached a G5 geomagnetic storm this strong was Halloween of 2003, which I'm not sure if this is an image from last night or from the Halloween 2003 storms, but it's still strikingly beautiful seeing these old windmills, probably in the Netherlands, with the northern lights in an almost rainbow fashion above them. That's gorgeous. This was the strongest we saw since 2003, but the 2003 storm peaked at negative 422 nanotesla, and our storm last night peaked at 412 nanotesla in the disturbance storm time index. And this article actually explains the disturbance storm time index a little bit better. Measure of geomagnetic activity expressed in nanoteslas based on the average value of the horizontal component, the x direction component of the Earth's magnetic field at 4 near equatorial geomagnetic observatories, measures the growth and recovery of the ring current in the Earth's magnetosphere. The lower the values get, the more energy is stored in the Earth's magnetosphere. It is commonly used to indicate the severity of geomagnetic storms that reach extreme G5 geomagnetic storm levels. So, in addition, the ionosphere is something we talk about in meteorology as the last level of the atmosphere, beyond the thermosphere, stratosphere, all of that. There's the ionosphere on the outside. There's also a magnetic envelope around the Earth that is gradiated into and beyond the ionosphere, that has concentric circles, kind of radiation, concentric circles of magnetic charge that hold the energy of radiation. That's why that's expressed in nanotesla. This is when we like buff up our shields, but also it's the energy stored in those shields as well. This is also something that holds the bank of energy to be precipitated downward into our atmosphere via things like ionizing radiation events. This is where all the energy goes. This is where it bounces around. This is where it's stored. And this is what gets like when this hand, pretend this hand is the radiation belts, and this hand is the radiation storm coming from the sun, and down here is the Earth. Ionizing radiation from the sun comes in and knocks that down to Earth, but you have to have a fist storing energy here. Like if there was only one finger here, if the radiation belts were really weak, you could put a lot of energy here, but it's only knocking down one finger to Earth. If you charge up this with a lot of energy, you get a lot precipitating down. So the magnetosphere charges up and also precipitates downward based on different storm conditions. We also had in the middle, the exciting thing, in the middle of that storm, we had a X 5.8 solar flare, and that was this gorgeous thing. This gorgeous thing. Watch that. Beauty. You can also see all the graininess on the image coming from radiation particles and that proton storm that we're getting right now. This is difference imaging, both for the coronagraph here and the solar disk there. Okay, let's take a look at our CMEs. Our first one of the day on the 11th was a type 4, most likely complete halo coronal mass ejection event. Probably came from, oh my gosh, look at all of that. Look at all that radiation. Remember how I told you that these white and black dots are protons and radiation particles coming from the sun? Wow, look how dense our radiation storm gets with this. That CME is, and that is complete. That is very complete. It went out this way and that way. I think this is connecting our exiting 3664, the very active region that gave us this big storm, and our incoming new regions on the eastern limb of the sun. Wow. Wow, that is gorgeous. Amazing. Amazing. Beautiful. Beautiful imagery from Cactus. Let's see our distribution plot. Oh my God, all over the place with velocity distribution. This is one good spherical base boosted sun. Gorgeous. And that was at 41 degrees. 2015 speed. Then we had, that was 39 up to 51. We had like 12 CMEs today. And then we just now had a type 3, which look at all the residual radiation that's still coming off the sun. And then we had another giant partial halo coronal mass ejection. So this is even more shit coming our way. This is even more shit hitting our fans. We are down to a G2 moderate geomagnetic storm, but the solar wind speed is currently really high at 906 kilometers per second. We still have a decent moderate storm conditions at negative 75 nanotesla. Remember, yesterday's peak was 412, so we're a lot lower than we were yesterday, but we're still really high. And our maximum X-ray flux of the last 2 hours was a C 8.8, but we also had another X-class flare today. It just didn't get newsworthy because we had such a strong one yesterday at 5.89 that today's X 1.54, which would usually be huge news, is just getting swept under the rug. It's almost embarrassing for these other little X-class flares to have their moment of the sun, come at times when there are such big launches surrounding them. They don't get the fanfare they deserve, I think. But we are up into R3 level radiation X-ray flare storms. We're looking at even more protons right now. Let's take a look at, we peaked out at, we had some really high proton levels. I believe all of them got up to 10 proton flux units today. We also peaked for the less than 10 or greater mega electron volt energy level protons. We did get up to the S2 moderate solar radiation storm, but these are still really high values. And then again, we saw those 2 new great coronal mass ejections today, which means I think protons are going to go way up again. They haven't even gone down and they're about to get way up again. I think the coronal mass ejections that happened today have way more radiation associated with them than the storm that we're currently feeling. So that's really cool. And then as you see, we are getting 2 new very strong bright regions rotating into the Earth-facing disk very soon. 3664 is unfortunately on its way out, but not without giving us a great show. Let's take a look at what KP index looked like all day today. We're at a 6 right now, but yeah, we peaked out we were at a KP index of 9 for several hours today. That is a lot of energy coming in. That's a lot of energy coming in. We were at a G2, a G1, and a G3 all day today. So these are still incredible levels. Let's go look at our Enlil and see if any new bursts have been modeled. Yeah, solar wind speed is just still dummy high. Okay, so this has our latest coronal mass ejections, I believe. Let's see, runtime 511. Yeah, definitely has. Okay, so this is still modeling the storm that we have already underwent today. This first big black line being the one that hit us starting last night into today. And then behind that is going to be our more ejections. So we keep pulsing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just more and more, and then another ejection, and then another. They just keep coming. It's really looks like we're gonna keep seeing new waves of this storm. Definitely tomorrow. Definitely from the 12th into the 13th. We're gonna still keep seeing these extremely high radio velocities. This is like what? Peaking out at like 1100, almost 1200 kilometers per second. We're at an extremely high wind speed right now, and we're only at 900. This is going to get even faster. And that fast wind speed, when I was talking about the radiation belts, remember, that is the fast wind speed is what precipitates a lot of those charged particles down from our radiation belts as well. Like the plasma coming in charges it, and the wind speed helps bring it down. I mean, and then even still behind it, under normal non-stormy conditions, even these little blips would be something to write home about. But as we march into May 14th and 15th, we are looking at, again, an increase. And I believe that on the next model run, this was run at 16 UTC. So that was before we got our most recent coronal mass ejection. I have a feeling that what they model for this last little bump is going to increase now that there's another coronal mass ejection behind it. But again, whatever mood you've been in, whatever your body's been doing, whatever you've been feeling like over the past few days during this big storm, I mean, yeah, we're not even into the 11th yet. And I mean, I guess we are right now looking at our new wave, but there's still more to come. There's still more to come. It's ridiculous. I don't know why the Enlil doesn't want to update, but at least the Space Weather Prediction Center one is. Let's see. For Sunday, we're forecast to have at least a KP index of 9, or a maximum KP index of 9. Our hemispheric power was really high today as well. Our disturbance storm time index has started going back up. but we started the day at nearly negative 200 nanotesla. So going back up, we're still well into the strong storm level. Our solar wind speed is still extremely fast, and our density isn't even that low with it. Usually, with solar wind speed and density have reciprocal relationships, meaning one's higher when the other's lower. But we're having pretty high densities or moderately high densities and really high wind speeds. Interplanetary magnetic field strength is dummy thick, very, very big right now. But unfortunately for aurora chasers, our interplanetary magnetic field orientation has been in the northern component recently. We've started dancing back up into the northern orientation. So that is not as favorable for aurora chasers. But I mean, look at this. Our speed just keeps going up and up and up. I think that these next coronal mass ejections that get to us are going to come really fast, and they're going to still have, because of the momentum of the speed of the wind around it. Even if the densities aren't that high or the power level's not that high, they're going to have a lot of momentum. So it's still going to be pretty momentous. Let's see. What else did I want to... Oh, I want to look at some imagery. Look at the composite imagery, if it'll load for me. Hello, Casey Face. Hello, Carolyn. I also have been very sleepy, no matter how much sleep I've gotten. I think this is definitely from the geomagnetic storm. I think that the prolonging of the geomagnetic storm is going to drag out this lethargy, or really like our bodies need to rest and repair as if we're going through an illness right now. Not that this is making us sick, but like there is a lot of information coming into the body right now that we need to integrate and heal from, and that's what sleep is for. So don't feel bad if you are exhausted and tired. I know it's hard not to personalize it, but I hope you're having a great night and that you can find some really deep, restful sleep. Yeah, the Schumann resonances have really taken off. That is kind of the measure of when the storms are coming down, the mixing of the solar storm with the terrestrial storms. Oh, hey, it's a Casey party. Love this. You're on the case. I love seeing all of y'all here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, remember to take care of your bodies by resting as much as they tell you to. I don't care what society says about how much you're supposed to be awake versus how much you're supposed to be asleep. If your body is tired, you need to rest. And that's just point blank. I don't care if people say it's allegedly an issue. I don't care if it makes other people's lives harder that you need rest. You need rest. It is best for the world if you rest when you need it. That's an act of care. That's an act of not just self-care, but of global care when you rest when your body needs it. Because look at all this crazy activity from the sun. That is, you know what it feels like to go outside, get a little bit of solar radiation, and just feel a little more tired. We're turning the volume up on that right now. There's even more information being exchanged between the ionosphere and our boundary layer, the ground level of the atmosphere. So as it comes in from the sun, it's getting knocked down. And as that goes from the atmosphere down to the ground, it's getting into our aura, and into our aura, into the parts of us that don't get physically manifested. It's a chain reaction. This is all weather, and your body is a system of weather as well. So listen to your weather station, listen to your body. Your body is a weather station that senses every single element. So when we see these fireworks, these X-class flares just popping off one after the other, and do y'all see the angel? Am I crazy, or do you also see the shape of an angel in this region 3664? See if you can see what I'm talking about. This little, like, maybe the wings on the left, legs, arms, and a head in the middle. I'm seeing an angel out of this, and I think that this is some sort of divinity speaking to us as a planet right now, speaking to our individuated souls as well. And this is, I think, a hearkening of what is to come with these next bright regions that are rotating onto the Earth-facing disk of the sun. It's really gorgeous to watch these three different wavelengths interact with each other. But I do want to show you some Soho imagery, because my goodness, there is a lot of radiation. Space case. That's cute. Space case and case face. It's awesome to see y'all here. Yeah, solar flares have been doing a weird thing for a month, because earlier in the month, I guess about 4 weeks ago, we had really, really low solar flare readings. And I was thinking, if we are pulling the slingshot back this far, we are about to catapult very far forward. And the coronal mass ejections also went through a weird low for a while. And I was thinking, we are just saving up. Yes, you see the angel too, though. Okay, I'm glad we all see it. Yeah, they have, and you guys are also, I'm just one person. Y'all all get as many messages as I do. So, like, please feel free to share the messages that you're getting in downloads in the comment section here, because I'm really curious what the information is bringing out in your individual bodies as well. Here's some beautiful imagery that shows Jupiter on the right-hand side and Venus on the left over here. All this sparkly bits, all this graininess, this is radiation. Remember to take care of your body as if you are getting, terrestrial radiation. Oh man, look. Whatever you call it. Oh, my string went away. Sorry, my phone is on loud right now. Oh, I like this interpretation. Felt like a phoenix for you. I really like that. I like that imagery a whole lot. This is really gorgeous from the coronal imaging right now. if it'll load, I want to see this one too, because I think it's going to show our radiation really well. I love the phoenix imagery because I feel like that is what we are supposed to be getting from the sun, is the internal flame that burns and purifies and alchemizes. The phoenix lesson is really important. I don't know if I've learned that lesson fully. Wow, look at all that. Okay, I need to shut that up. I'm sorry. Somebody is texting me too much. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. I guess some people don't know when I'm on the air and to stop texting me. They can come talk to us in the chat instead of hitting my phone. I've got a big face and a small computer. What does that mean? Yes, they definitely increased when the other shoe dropped. Ooh, my downloads have all been about integration, people having their masks dissolved and their true self is being shown. And this a time of observation, observing, sitting still, and not feeling the need to do anything. Yes. Yes. Totally. Reflecting and sitting in the stillness and feeling okay about it. And not just okay, but empowered by it. I think I've heard, my download hasn't been this, but I have heard recently that we are not going to be able to lie to each other very easily moving forward. There are updates coming to the human computer that are going to make it really, really hard for people to be fake with each other. If it feels bad in your body to be forced to lie at your job, if you are finding it more and more ethically and physically challenging to do things that are against your morals, I think that it means you are part of the new upgrade and you're just embodying this new energy of authenticity sooner. And that is how these things roll on. I'm not exactly on the cutting edge of the downloads, but I am getting them. I'd say I'm in like the 75th percentile. I'm not like way out there yet, but I'm a little more than, I'm like halfway above average of getting the new stuff. So I'm hearing from people who have already integrated this lesson of authenticity and listening to your inner authority that we're not going to be able to lie very well. Oh yeah. I did make my computer small in OBS because every time my internet cuts out, for some reason I'm streaming through Talk Studio. So every time my internet cuts out, it refreshes the browser. And even though the recording session is ongoing, it kicks off all of my video arrangement preferences. So I have to go back and arrange the cameras the way that I want them. But I think I'm about done with visuals anyway. Oh, wait, but I haven't done our planetary update yet. I'm learning how to stop attaching my self-worth to productivity and detach from societal expectations. It's so funny because authenticity is so natural for empaths and so seems second nature. I have definitely felt the opposite about authenticity, but maybe I'm not a true empath. Maybe I'm just a people pleaser. I've felt like it's been really hard for me to figure out my authenticity because I've been told my whole life not to listen to my bodily information, not to listen to my bodily authority. It's been really hard to, figure out what my voice is since I've had so much lifelong practice quieting my voice. but it's really easy for me to put myself in someone else's shoes because the lack of knowing my own voice has made me super tuned in to what other people want, because I want there to be an information of what someone wants. Very interesting. Let me go ahead and go to our planetary weather for today so that we can get to the cosmic weather after that. Thank you all so much for being here. I love you all very, very much. I truly do love each and every one of you a whole lot. And I'm really glad that you're here with me this Saturday night. It is currently, oh wait, let me make my screen big. Oh, I also forgot to take off my, I'm going to take this browser off so that I don't get distracted. We are currently in a Saturn day and a Mars hour. We started this broadcast in a Saturn day and a Jupiter hour. We've got, so let's start with Saturn. Saturn in Pisces at 17 degrees is currently trining our moon in Cancer. Moon is the ruler of Cancer, so she's really happy here. Moon just also had her last lunation in Taurus, where she's exalted. And that is conjunct the new moon is a moon conjunct sun. That conjunction took place in Taurus, really close to where our recent Jupiter and Uranus conjunction took place. And as I said, we're in a Mars ruled hour. So, let me not skip over the fact that this Moon Saturn trine is happening. Both of those are sextile to Venus in Taurus. Venus is ruling Taurus. So we've got two planets, two pretty feminine planets, making a favorable aspect to a masculine planet in a feminine sign. And Pisces, Saturn is really great for music, the arts, creativity, manifesting, world building, tearing down boundaries and borders, and tearing down established structures, dissolving and melting away crystallized grids. And to me, it's like the imagery of Saturn in Pisces is using resonance therapy to eat away at bone spurs that are causing arthritis. If Pluto in Aquarius is that arthritis, that arthritic bone spur, honestly, Pluto in Capricorn was really the bone spur. Pluto in Aquarius is the waveforms. Saturn in Pisces is our use of resonance technology and moving chi and acupuncture and Chinese medicine and that kind of stuff in order to get rid of the injuries of repetitive use of our physical bodies. This is our dissolving away into the ether as well. And from that, we are moving. It's like the hardest Pisces can get, but it's also the most creative Saturn can be. Saturn being a planet of destruction and Pisces being the final sign in the zodiac, having a pretty destructive tendency itself. When they come together, it somehow is so destructive that you can't help but create something. It's like multiplying two negatives together to get so much abundance. Mars is still sitting pretty in Aries, finally making a bit of an aspect to, it did make a square aspect to the moon last night. So those two planets being in the signs they rule were a little bit competitive, but I think a Mars in Aries is really well placed for action, accomplishment, and the refining of the ego. Now, ego isn't bad. It gets a lot of a bad rap in modern wisdom, but that's just because the part of modern society that we're trying to tear down right now is the over-identification with ego. It's not that oneness of Pisces is more true than the individuation of Aries. It's just that the individuation of Aries is currently the paradigm through which we're being controlled and through which our energy is being extracted. And the paradigm of oneness and unity isn't very marketable at the moment. So it's not that one is good or bad. It's just that the ego and individuation stuff is getting us in hot water in our current material reality. So we don't like to identify with the individuation. But that is, unfortunately or fortunately, kind of why we're in this world in separate bodies. We still have our Taurus stellium going on. Most of that is sextile to the moon in Cancer. The moon in Cancer is going to run through making sextiles to, starting with Venus, to the sun, which is about to conjoin and pretty much is conjunct to Uranus and Taurus. And then we'll finally round out with a sextile to Jupiter in Taurus. So that will be, I think the next couple days will be gorgeous transits. Really interesting that we have seen this huge solar storm while we've got this Taurus stellium. And I think that with these two very electric planets of Uranus and Jupiter, I think this is a beautiful expression of what Taurus can do to manifest the metaphorical into the physical reality. So there, I think, is, and of course, not to be left out, I don't want to leave out the fact that we do have another grand sextile going on, almost forming a cradle. The Neptune in Pisces to Pluto in Aquarius to Jupiter in Taurus, sextiles and trines are also activating big cosmic overtone in these feminine exchanges right now. So with that, I think we are done with those updates. And now I can go back to the chat. I mean, like, we feel out of place when we're not authentic. That's the societal expectation I'm referring to. Oh, okay. Yes, I totally get what you're saying. Thank you so much, Casey. Yeah, I'm going to put that on stream because that's a really, really good point. We feel out of place in society a lot when we're out of alignment. Much love to all. Glad I stumbled on this channel last night. Thank you. I'm so glad to have y'all here. Yeah, you're awesome. I hope that I mean, I'm here every night. I do this every night till whenever. I'm kind of like the midnight meteorologist. Sure, I'll start off talking about weather, but I'll end up talking about spirit. Because what is spirit but the weather that we just don't know how to predict yet? Just don't know how to predict the spirit weather at the moment, but it's all weather. Okay, I am actually a meteorologist, but like I'm also actually very spiritual. So where's a begin and end? It's a gradient. All right, I'm gonna go to doing a cosmic weather update. First, I never start with this deck, so I'm gonna start with my spiritual affirmation manifestation type cards. Yes. Thank you, Da. I think that's David. Thank you, David. All right, I'm gonna start with my chunky deck here. Let's see. Set the tone, please, for the cosmic weather update for today, Saturday, May 11th, 2024. For me, for everyone in the chat, and for everyone who's going to ever watch this recording of this live stream. What is the energy coming into the planet right now that we need to know about? What is the weather from beyond the realms we can predict with physical means like telescopes, satellites, and the like? Oh, we got 2 jumpers today. I don't usually do this. Oh, and one of them is a brand new one. Okay. This is a tree that's got like petals and flowers falling from it. That says, I am a physical extension of creative, non-physical energy. Oh, so perfect. I love this message. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that you saw my hair video. All right. This is a great card. I love this. I'm so glad I've drawn this. I've never drawn this one before until tonight. So thank you all for being here and contributing your energy, because I think that you had something to do with this. I'm a creative extension of, I'm a physical extension of creative, non-physical energy. You are so much more than the physical body you have come to know as you. You are source energy, and you are focused on the leading edge of thought. In this powerful now, you hold the key to allowing the source that is you to flow. The better you feel, the more you are allowing that connection. So if you guys feel good from this stream, that is not because of this stream. That is because you are allowing a connection to the universe that makes you feel good. You are the creator of every single feeling that you feel. You're the curator of every vibe that you're a part of. I'm honored that I get to be part of the vibe that you're creating for this current space in your life right now. Thank you so much for sharing your creation with me. It's really beautiful to know that there's at least 5 people out there who are actively co-creating reality with us, helping pull this card. We are physical extensions of creative, non-physical energy. And that goes hand in hand with this next one that I do pull quite often. Physical well-being is only one good thought away. Now, this card was very hard for me to read at first because there's a lot of narratives right now that don't want you to believe that physical well-being is one good thought away. But it says, you could have every disease known to man within you today, and if you chose different feeling thoughts tomorrow, they would all leave your body. The key is not to give any unwanted thing too much attention. When it doesn't feel good, turn your attention someplace else. That is really hard for me personally to hear as I struggle with my own diseases, but it also feels very empowering to know that it is one good feeling away, one good thought away to make the feelings just a little bit better. Yes, we are source. We are connecting to source through each other. We are creative energy. And that, okay, us being creative energy is how this concept of physical being manifested through our thought and attention works. This is the mechanism for how this is true. And I think I'm just going to pull one clarifying card. I'm going to pull a clarifying card from the tarot deck tonight. And again, I do use the raw labradorite crystal I've got here for my tarot deck connection. Thank you to Source, who brought this piece into my life through a very serendipitous meeting with people. Just random strangers I met, started talking about rocks, and now I have this amazing piece. Look at that flash on that. Beautiful labby. Beautiful labby. Beautiful. I love the sound of that. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's get a unifying card for I am a physical extension of creative non-physical energy, and physical well-being is only one good thought away. And y'all, I don't shuffle this late at night because I do have upstairs neighbors that can hear my cards shuffling. So I try to be respectful of them needing to get sleep. Because for some reason the card shuffle is very triggering for them. All right. What's our cosmic weather card from the tarot tonight? Might have to pull if nobody jumps out. Oh, beautiful. Oh my God. We got the 10 of Cups upright. That is amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I love the 10 of Cups. I love the 10 of Cups. It is probably the happiest card of the minor arcana. It's got 10 cups and a rainbow above a beautiful family. We've got hills and rivers, masculine and feminine in balance, old and young in balance, nature and civilization in balance, everything in its place, everything in the divine, beautiful grid that's supposed to be. So to me, this card really represents how a rainbow is formed, which is each drop of water being true to itself and how it was created. Looking within yourself, you as a water droplet, as part of the cloud, looking within yourself and finding and trusting that you will fall into the abundance of a cloud and a rainbow if you trust yourself and trust your own vibration. Don't try to be where another drop is. Try to be where exactly your drop is supposed to be, and that's what's going to create the abundance of beauty of a rainbow. You can't have a rainbow without every drop falling into the perfect crystalline structure that creates the prism that creates the rainbow. This is the abundance card. This is the abundance card. We have as much abundance as we want. We have as much physical health as we want. We have as much creativity as we want. You just have to believe and call it in. It really, truly is that simple, but it also really, truly is that hard. This is a gorgeous combination. I feel abundant having all of y'all here tonight. It's really beautiful. This card, to me, I have a TEDx talk about this, but iridescent clouds are a thing that mean a lot to me, and that's my metaphor with the 10 of Cups is the way that we are all a water droplet in the cloud and supposed to be doing something slightly different in order to synergistically make something so much bigger than any one person could have dreamed about. All we can see is our part of the puzzle. All we can do is be our part of the puzzle, and that is going to create abundance beyond our wildest dreams. It's really true. I believe this quote of your own complex history is just as important to humanity as each water droplet is to a cloud. And y'all, my name is Cloud. Y'all are all little water droplets. We're all water droplets together. I'm just a water droplet. I just call my name Cloud for spiritual reasons, but we all together make this beautiful rainbow. And I think it's very fitting that we have 7 people in the chat right now. 7 being rainbow color, the number of colors we think of as being in a rainbow. Also, yeah, there's so many reasons that I love this card. But I think y'all should feel very proud of yourself for contributing to this vibe, because thank you so much. I love this. Um, I am a bit. Oh, I saw something else. Let's see. What else did Casey say? It's difficult, but OMG, that resonates so much. I have illness. I am not identified by any set of symptoms that are labeled as dis-ease. I can choose to focus on what I can do and not limitations. Exactly. Oh, an abundance of nighttime rainbows lately is something that feels like a blessing. Also something that, you know, I it can be seen as negative, because we are definitely in a time where people want to do doom and gloom propaganda about anything that happens. But the thing about change, the thing about something unprecedented or scary even, is that it's going to be awesome. It's going to inspire awe. You're going to be scared, but like, it's going to be beautiful. Um, I'm sure that if there was a comet headed straight towards your face, it would be really pretty. That's the bright side of things. The bright side of things is always like the sensory exploration of the process. Uh, Physical manifestation is its own kind of hell, but we're manifested physically for a reason, and that's to enjoy the nuances, the subtle flavors and delicacies of physical life. We are from the abundant world above. I think, oh, that's another part of this card is in the ether, in the higher realms, abundance is more true than lack. In our physical realms, we celebrate abundance because it's a contrast to the world full of lack that we have manifested ourselves in. We are having a little emo moment with our physical manifestation in the physical world, being like, I wonder how juicy and great abundance feels if it's not the default, if it's not guaranteed, if it's something that we forgot was real. We're playing the game of let's pretend that we can't manifest things so that we can figure out how awesome it feels to rediscover abundance in manifesting. Yeah, and this rainbow up here, the 10 of Cups, representing 10 more higher echelons above us to remind us that there's a hierarchy of angels, there's a hierarchy of dimensions, there's a lot out there that is not in our physical, limiting, painful, miserable physical existence. There is so much out there that we are connected to that is just as much part of our physical experience as as much part of our spiritual experience as misery is part of our spiritual experience. Physical. Sorry. Ugh, getting tongue-tied. Anytime I step through fear, I grow. And in transcendence, there is growth. So even fear can be celebrated. Yes, precisely. I fully agree. Our growth is, I think, part of the point of being here. And we wouldn't be able to grow in the lessons that we need from the school of Earth. We wouldn't learn, we're doing our homework on Earth. We wouldn't learn anything if we weren't doing these lessons. The human experiences is surrounded by our consciousness of duality. So good, bad, light, dark, as above, so below. Yes, and the rainbow could be seen as a duality of red, blue, but there is the middle ground of green, and all the other middle grounds between those middle grounds. Those are all gradients that we get to explore by being in this body that is constantly feeling the tug between dualities. It's a really beautiful experience to be here. Yeah. So, speaking of beautiful experiences, I am so thankful to be here with y'all tonight. But I do want to close this out so that we can look forward, get some rest, and take care of our bodies. Because, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we are undergoing a severe geomagnetic storm. So, it's very important to get rest, hydration, eat good natural foods, fruits and vegetables, foraged items if you can, because eating things that are local to place has a higher vibration in my experience than food that you didn't find yourself. So any food that somebody put love into has a higher vibration as well. Also remembering, I don't know why I feel called to say this right now, but remembering to give thanks for the food that you ingest is really important. You can be eating potato chips, and if you said a prayer of thankfulness to the universe for the potatoes that made it, you can make that a higher vibration food, making up higher vibration cells that are made out of that food. All right. I love this. I've got it. Earth School is the most redneck, ghetto, backwards school ever. Good night, everyone. Stay hydrated. All right. I hope to see all of you tomorrow night. I love you very much. Stay hydrated, get some great rest, and I will see you tomorrow. I love you all very much. Goodbye.